called obsession.
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 I'm your freaky Nikki.
YouTube. I haven't made a video in a long time. Today we're going to talk about obsession. Obsession. Curry Barker's first, technically second feature film. As you all know, Obsession came out a little over a month ago, and it's been smashing, and I mean smashing, every record that you can think of. It's the highest grossing film acquired at a festival. It became the highest grossing film in the history of Focus Features. It's grossed almost $300 million. It's the first movie since E.T. to have a third weekend increase, and it's said to have made $34.1 million in its fifth global weekend. But the money's not the point. The money's the evidence. You'll see why. Obsession's showing no real signs of stopping when it comes to exposure. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a new director. But this isn't the only thing to come out of this movie. Obsession's been doing things that indie filmmakers have been dreaming about for fucking years. It's shattering box office norms, showing that we still have original ideas, showing that creators have the talent, and proving that money does not always matter when it comes to creating a film. Obsession will change this industry for good. Hopefully. But to understand why this matters so much, you need to understand the context of Curry Barker. Curry Barker was born September 22nd, 1999, in Mobile, Alabama. He participated in the marching band, had his own rock band, and made YouTube videos on the side with his friends. He fell in love with movies through a tradition he made with his dad. Every Wednesday, his dad would pick him up after school and take him to the movies and see something, even if it's something that they didn't even plan on seeing. Because of that, Curry would see movies that he would originally never think that he was gonna watch in the theater. After high school, Curry was aspiring to be an actor, so he left home at 18 to study at the New York Film Academy in Los Angeles. During his first week, he met Cooper Tomlinson. Cooper is his now creative partner, and they immediately started making YouTube videos. They described YouTube as their film school outside of film school. Together, they formed the comedy duo That's a Bad Idea. They began publishing comedy sketches on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, and have grown their platforms to millions of followers. Curry and Cooper started making a web series almost immediately. With that first weekend, they wrote a script and shot within a couple days. After about a year creating these videos, they both dropped out and moved in together. Curry stated that he always wanted their sketches to feel cinematic. They'd use professional cameras, mic each other up. They wanted it to be legitimate and meaningful. Nothing filmed on a phone. The original channel name was actually Popcorn Culture, and it had around 1,000 subscribers, so they just changed the name and started building off that. On top of social media, Curry also worked at a Starbucks. He also had the occasional acting role, starring in Dave and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Sure, I don't care.
But things really started to change for them when they started making their horror shorts. In 2023, Curry made The Chair, which became a huge turning point in his life. It attracted interest from Hollywood producers and changed his life as a director. Once producers came forward trying to make a feature of The Chair, Curry was like, and he pitched them the idea of Obsession. Fun fact. Then, in 2024, Curry and Cooper released Milk and Cereal on YouTube. It's a 62-minute found footage horror film made for $800, and they released it for free on YouTube. They had spent around a year trying to get distribution, but nothing that really was interesting to them, so they ended up just posting it on YouTube for free instead. And obviously, that ended up being the right choice. It went viral and led him to a representation deal with the United Talent Agency in early 2025. This matters because Curry Barker is just like anyone else. He loved movies, he loved entertainment, and more importantly, he loved original stories. But I know you're asking, Keel, why does this matter? Why does him going to the movies with his dad, making an $800 found footage horror film, and making YouTube sketches have anything to do with Obsession changing the industry? I'll tell you. Because that is the industry change. Obsession's not just important because it made a lot of money. A lot of films make a lot of money. It's important because of where it came from. It didn't come from a franchise, it didn't come from a superhero universe, and it didn't come from a studio trying to squeeze one more sequel out of something that people already recognized and enjoyed. It came from a guy making sketches on YouTube. It came from short films, trial and error. It came from making videos, posting them, learning what worked and what didn't, and doing it all again. YouTube was Curry's film school. But Curry wasn't the only one behind Obsession. Well, I guess like in a sense, he was like the writer and director, so like technically he's the one behind. You get the fuck. Obsession has done a lot of things that people don't really realize. As I said earlier, look at all the records that it's already broke. Look at the constant buzz around it. And then remember the fact that it was only made for $750,000. Are you fucking kidding me? Cats, the movie, had a budget of around $100 million. Like, let's put that in perspective a little bit. Yeah, but the most important thing that Obsession has done is prove that original movies can still feel like an event. The constant increase in sales, the record breaks, the buzz around it, it just doesn't end. Since the movie's release, there has not been a day where I have not seen at least 8 posts about it. And I am not complaining. This is honestly one of my favorite movies. Maybe I'm a little bit biased because I was already a Curry fan, but this is something special. The most important thing that Obsession's doing right now is just getting people talking. This just proves that original movies can still feel like an event. This proves that we don't have to stream everything, that we can just make something more. The weekend increases show that more and more people aren't just showing up because it's part of some franchise. They're showing up because it's original and it feels alive both online and in real life. Curry himself has stated that it's not just because it's original, it's that we're really hungry for original stories and we're tired of that overly produced bullshit. We want good stories, good characters, and most importantly, good filmmaking. And I'm sure everyone will be excited about this next point because I know we all think the same thing, but Curry himself has stated that he just wishes these studios understood that we're tired of slop. We're hungry for movies that are original, not some big IP attached to it. We want good stories. We're hungry for this shit. As filmmakers, we are tired of the overly produced, random sequel bullshit that they're making just so the studio can make money. Having original ideas like Obsession and Backrooms and other movies made by people within our system just shows how valuable a good and moving story can be for Hollywood. And more importantly, for the young filmmaking community. To me and everyone else, Obsession feels like the start of change within the industry. Having a movie perform this well, for this cheap, and yet it's still this original and exciting, is opening the eyes of a lot of people in Hollywood. Let me explain. The change here isn't necessarily proving that every small filmmaker is going to get a Hollywood deal. What it is proving is that Hollywood is looking for creators that know how to build an audience, test their ideas online, make things cheap, and make something that people actually care to talk about. Because of Obsession, Hollywood is paying more attention to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, because that's their new pipeline. Executives are going through these social media platforms looking for young filmmakers. Because creators are not just practicing their craft here. They're building audiences that can transfer to the box office. These creators have already built an audience that trusts them and has seen most of their work. So if they get a feature deal, all of these old posts and short films were essentially just test screenings to show what they're actually capable of. Hollywood is starting to realize that they just want people to care. A big reason why Obsession is succeeding this much is that it's showing the essence of the 20-something-year-old time in our lives in a crazy, funny, scary way. And audience members aren't very concerned about where this filmmaker comes from. They're concerned about the story. Younger audiences don't hate movies. They hate movies that feel like they're not relatable whatsoever. For the longest time, YouTube was something that anyone could create anything, just for fun. No hassle, no stress, strictly for the love of the game. But now, not only are all those things still the case, but it's something that Hollywood is looking at from the very beginning. If you were to tell a movie executive 10 years ago to scour the internet, specifically YouTube, for a good and original film, they'd call you crazy and they wouldn't even waste their time. But now, Hollywood is paying attention as they should. YouTube is going to be one of the first places that these people are looking. And this isn't saying that Hollywood is only looking for 20-year-olds. It's the proof behind it. A fan base, proof of demand, and a filmmaker already showing that they can get people interested in what's most valuable. It's not just that these directors, specifically Curry, are young. It's that they're young and have already proven that they can get people to watch. Not to mention, horror is the perfect genre for this entire shift in Hollywood. It's cheaper than most genres, it works well with people who aren't very well known, and it spreads through mouths. Spreads through word of mouth like wildfire. It's a hell of a lot harder to make a drama or a comedy with actors that aren't known that's still moving. Compare that to a horror film where people you don't know are fighting for their lives. That chase is what makes it special. Another thing that comes with all this is that it's showing that us young filmmakers can wear all of the hats. Curry wrote, directed, edited, casted, and crew coordinated for Obsession. That is not nearly as common as people may think. It's rare to have someone so young have the creative ability to write, direct, and edit, and who knows what else he did behind closed doors. All of this because he was able to make a name for himself on YouTube. Obsession proves that the internet and the theater are not enemies. At least not always. Of course, people are gonna shit on movies. Okay, that's not going away. You know, that's always gonna be something, and that makes sense. But in today's day and age, online clips, YouTube, TikTok buzz, and people's conversations, they all feed into the popularity of a movie. The internet is helping create demand for the movie, but the theater is still the place that everyone goes to experience this thing together. Another thing is that Obsession gives studios a good look into the argument for making smaller budget films. I've upgraded to a water now. With a $750,000 budget, bringing in almost 300 million, if not more by the time this video is actually out. It shows the kind of return that an executive should probably think about before putting their money somewhere. The theatrical bet doesn't have to have so much on the line with a movie like this. It's easier to market, easier to profit from, and far less dangerous if it doesn't work. Less money is lost, and there's far less risk compared to a studio betting on a $100 million film. Not to mention, a smaller original movie might work better than a high-budget film, especially when people are currently looking for originality. Obsession proves that audiences will actually show up for something when the story is strong and actually worth talking about. Because of this, smaller original films might actually become a safer bet. A safe bet in the past used to be Marvel, Star Wars, Disney, famous actors, all of those things. But with the success of Obsession, I can almost guarantee that we're gonna see a hell of a lot more original, smaller budget films. This alone will create a huge shift in Hollywood. And these original small budget films can be real theatrical events, especially when the demand for them right now is so high. If there's anything to take away from this video, it's that we're hopefully coming to an end of a streaming only world. Due to COVID, streaming took off, that's kind of assumed because we couldn't fucking do anything. Fewer people showed up at theaters, understandably, and fewer people started to care about film. Streaming services and the internet became the place that people would show up instead of the theater. Not just during COVID, but even years later. But this might now work in our favor. Hear me out. For the longest time, the internet was basically replacing the theater, but now it's feeding them. TikTok, YouTube, and word of mouth not only builds more anticipation for a film now, but it brings the film further than it could have without it. It helps show the urgency around it. It gives life to something outside of the theater, making more people want to actually go watch it in the theater. It's been reported that the TikTok clips, the online buzz, and the delayed streaming release of Obsession just got more people to go watch it. And to me, that's the biggest change. The internet didn't kill the theater, it just made people way more selective. People aren't gonna show up just because the studio tells them to. They're not gonna show up just because it has a familiar title, a big budget, and a recognizable character on the poster. They're gonna show up when it feels like it's worth leaving the house for. And Obsession became that. It became the movie that people wanted to talk about, post about, argue about, bring their friends to, and experience with a crowd. The internet created the conversation, but the theater is where the conversation actually took place. That's what I believe Hollywood is finally starting to understand. YouTube's not the enemy. Streaming's not the enemy. TikTok's not the enemy. The internet's not the enemy. The enemy is making films that we don't give a shit about. Obsession proves that when a movie feels original, personal, exciting, and alive, people will show up. Not because they have to, not because it's attached to some franchise, but because they want to feel like they're part of the moment. And that's why this movie matters. More movies like this are almost guaranteed to be coming to the theater soon. There is no better way to get us young filmmakers to a theater than to give us something like Obsession again and again and again. So to those filmmakers out there with original ideas and the passion for creating something worth watching, don't hold back. Because you're not going to be the next Obsession. You're not going to be the next Curry Barker. You're going to be the next original filmmaker to show Hollywood that we still care. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and of course, quick note before the video ends, this was filmed on June 18th, 2026. It is currently the 25th, so it's previous to Obsession being in theaters for its 6th weekend. So if any numbers, records, or box office details have changed by the time you're watching this video, that is why. But honestly, that just proves my point even more. It keeps growing, gaining more and more traction, and just becoming a bigger moment. So yeah, like, comment, and of course, subscribe.